First of all, Colin, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Bit disappointed that I can't keep that European run going with BT Sport or TNT now school. But yeah, we're looking onwards and upwards.
Yeah, I mean, should we quickly talk about West Ham last season, get that out of the way?
Yeah, let's get that out of the way first. What did you think of last season, Colton?
Yeah, it was pretty boring. It was pretty boring. But do you know what it was, right? When we could look to the future because we've got the likes of obviously, Piquet. I was to say Piquet.
I think we ain't.
I'm not sure about the future we're in, but like Kudus, and then we also Bowen obviously has been unbelievable. But then you look at Tim Steidten and what he's capable of bringing to the club. And now we can look to the future, so we've got a new manager that plays hopefully exciting football that we're looking at. I don't know if you guys have taken him in and the style of play he wants to play, but it's quite exciting. It's like possession based. So we are going to change our style of play. I think that's what we've been asking for, to have a bit more possession, more than 60% a game.
What would you describe the style last year?
And the camera's on. We can cut this out.
That doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into trouble now, am I? But the style of play for us was good for at least 3 years, right? So you got to understand. I felt there was a period, especially the first 2 years of David Moyes' reign, we played good counter-attacking football. So what we would do, we'd sit and play a nice, tight, like a low block, mid to low block, and then get them on. And that's when Antonio was really, really good. You saw exactly what he brought to the team. Now, when I look at it, that kind of faded away because we wasn't doing that anymore. So the mid to low block wasn't a mid to low block no more. It was still not doing what we're supposed to do defensively.
Do you think he was trying to overcompensate for aiding defenders, just squeezing people? Our defence is.
Oh yeah.
I think since we lost Dawson, I think he's got.
Oh, that was a massive mistake getting rid of Dawson. I think Dawson, he felt probably undervalued, and that's probably the main reason he wanted to go as well. Plus, he wanted to go up north and do something for himself. But when I look at the whole scenario, I just feel that we could treat players a little bit better when they're with us and just appreciate them a little bit more. The ones that, the water carriers, you would say?
Yeah.
Not just the ones that make the place look a little bit shiny on top, you know what I mean? So those type of players we've got to always keep sweet.
Yeah, we finished 9th last season, and obviously Europa League quarter-finals. Do you think we overachieved or underachieved?
I think we was in our right place, to be honest, because of the type of football we're playing. I've got to be honest with that. Remember the year before we were 14th? It wasn't a great season. It was just the European Cup that made us, it papered over the cracks really. So for when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, nah, we needed to improve, and we did. So we got to 9th in the league, and hopefully next season we can push on again.
I mean, he was in the club when David Moyes was there. I mean, I don't know what about everyone else, but I'm very thankful for the job David Moyes done. I think he's done a marvellous job. I think his ratings in was a little bit tarnished.
I think he left. He should have left in his own terms.
Yeah.
I think after the European Cup final, I think that's when he should have just dropped Mike and left. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we all should have done that.
But I actually thought he was going to go, because I think there was rumours about him going Celtic, and I thought it would have been a perfect for him to just crack on and go again. But he wanted to stay. You've got our owners and our people in the boardroom that didn't want to pay him out, didn't want to sack him. And when you look at the whole, you're not going to sack him either because of what he brought to the club and the silverware that we've not won in so long. So that would have been so unfair. So I think the main thing was to just try and see if we can stay afloat for next season, see what we could bring in. We brought in Kudus, it was looking brilliant at the start of the season, then it kind of just like dipped in form. And I don't think there was anything he could do about that either. I think it was just the players knew that probably the gaffer weren't going to be there.
Does that come into football?
Of course, subconsciously, it's not that we're out there to just like underperform. I think it's a subconscious thing because we go to bed at night, all these thoughts are going through. The future looks a little bit unsure, and you're just trying to get your head around it. So there's other factors that come into it to get that end result. But your heart's always there, but mentally you're just kind of, there's doubts.
You're thinking about it.
You're thinking about things that you shouldn't be thinking about.
Yeah.
And that you need a clear mind as a footballer to go out there and give your best at any stage of the season.
Yeah, so obviously David Moyes is gone. New era at West Ham, Lopetegui. It's taken me 2 weeks to learn that name.
Yeah, you got it. That was decent from you, by the way.
Some fans are calling him J-Lo.
J-Lo, I
just hope he ain't got too...
J-Lo's too sexy.
Well,
man.
I just hope he
The
ain't
real
got
J-Lo.
two useless tits up front next season. No, it's a new era for West Ham, you know. I'll always get behind the manager, give him a chance, but I think with what's available, I think, did we get him in too soon? Could we have maybe attracted a Tuchel, Pochettino, someone like that? Are we big enough to do that?
Yeah, we're definitely big enough, but we're not in Europe.
Yeah.
So that a manager's going to look at that and think, and players as well, unless they really, really believe in the project. Now, look, Tim Schneider's done brilliant so far, and I think we're only getting we'll get a Lopetegui, Lopetegui, what do you want to say? But you get these type of managers on the back of Tim Schneider's idea. So Tim's done a great job so far, so now we're just giving him the chance to go and express himself now and just make sure that he goes and gets the right value for money, for one, and go and get the right players that want to play for the club. The manager has a little bit of pull with that as well, but I just think the terms and conditions are probably towards, listen, we just want you here to coach and let Tim do all the recruitment. And the coaching part is the part where we need to improve and change the format of how we think as a football club. The players got to think a little bit different as well. Now we're playing possession-based football, and it's got to be sexier football, really. And are we going to keep the right players at the club as well? So now I'm looking at Aaron Creswell.
Yes.
I'm happy that he might be signing a new deal, and I think he signed it already. I'm not sure, but I think he's on the verge of signing a new deal. And I remember I was in his position one time, and I was like one of the most experienced players at the club, but then the club didn't really have a direction, so they just got rid of me, when probably the transition and the handover should have been a little bit more smoother for the likes of Andy Carroll to come and take my place and go on and do what he needed to do. That's the reason why I came back for the second stint.
Yeah,
because
about 10 minutes later.
About 10 minutes there. But they realised that you need to have a smooth handover, and I think having your experienced players still at the club for a little bit, if they're not expendable, it's just to keep them around and then just try and get the handover a bit more smoother. And I think it's really important to do that.
It's looking like you look at what we've, ended with last season. It looks like a big job. We've got a Pakistan who's come out, and he may not be available for the start of the season. We'll see about that. But then there's players in the squad like Danny Ings, like Cornet, who never got chances under Moyes. Would they be feeling reinvigorated now? Thinking it was a chance to get another chance.
Ben Rama as well.
Well, for me, I think, as I said, Tim's got a massive job on his hands. So when you look at it, I think we need about 6 or 7 new players. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we're going for a couple of Brazilians, and we're going for a few others as well, like some younger players. But then you've got the likes of Ben Johnson that we haven't, doesn't look like we're retaining at the moment. Then you've got young Divine Mubama, who I've coached. Don't think we're going to retain him either. So there's places. Danny Ings hasn't played. Does the manager fancy Danny Ings? Is he? Do you know what I mean? Is his type of player? And then we've got to look at like the left back Emerson because Emerson's been brilliant, but we need cover for him. Yeah. On the right side, we need cover for Soufal now because if Ben Johnson don't sign, so we've got loads to do. And look, my role at the club now, I'm the loans manager, so I've got to try and bridge the gap from the youth players. I've seen a lot of the youth players, obviously. I've got to try and bridge the gap between under 21s football to first team.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, the gap is massive. You do get a few players that can adapt, so we're just seeing George Murphy just do really well. He's come in, but then you can't expect him to go on and be the main man that we're expecting him to be. He might need to go alone still. You have Lewis Orford, young boy that's coming through, Caleb Casey. All these boys are great talents, but they need that first team experience. Now, when you look at Freddie Potts, has just been out on loan. He had a great season over in at Wickham. I was monitoring that situation, and then obviously he went all the way to the finals, brilliant, and had a great time at the club. Now we're going to look to him. This in what would you say? You'd say through pre-season, see if he can bridge the gap and see if he's nearer or closer, and if the gaffer does like him. So there's going to be a lot of looking about our youth players first before we send them out on loan to see if they can bridge the gap to get into the first team, and that could be like a new signing for us.
Would it be? I mean, this is just really talk. I've never played football, obviously, but sometimes you just got to chuck them in. You know, there's times where I was looking at the thing last year. You know, George Murphy come on before he got knocked clean out, didn't he? One game, and he looked fantastic in that game, and then he come on the next game and scored. Look, I know it's difficult, but you know. What sometimes my argument with boys is that, like, you know, Ben Johnson, I like Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's a good player, he's been with us for a long time. But he's playing him in games where he could be playing some of the youth, just giving them some minutes. Or just getting pounded 5-0 at Chelsea at one point, you know, and you're bringing on Ben Johnson and Danny Ings, players that haven't got a future for the club, and you leave them just give them some minutes. The only way you're going to know if he can be bridged if you give him the minutes.
Sometimes, listen, that's where David Moyes is. A little bit of a downfall is recognising them moments. And listen, Ben Johnson's he's part of our youth setup, and he's a great ambassador for that. But it's because he's not committed to the club and he's turned down his contract.
Yeah.
Then you've got to look elsewhere in the youth, and we've got some good players coming through. If we've been keeping an eye on the 21s, been top. Like even under 18, we won there for a youth cup. We've been number one. We have lost a few players, don't get me wrong, and every club like us that harbours these type of talents, you get the likes of Chelsea, Man City's trying to come in and get the players, and they do sometimes because the parent can't control the parents. But then when you do have certain players that can go and make that parade, you kind of want to keep them. Now, as I said, I've mentioned Lewis Orford. I think I'm expecting him to do something and get in around the first team this season. George Murphy's already, as I've mentioned, that he's already on the way. But I am disappointed of losing the players as well, because that's
your frustrations.
That's a lot of frustration, because I don't think we need to be losing players so early in their career, and that means we're not doing something right, and we're not probably paying up or competing with the rest of them. And it's not just about money; it's about game time. And I think with David Moyes, he hasn't filled the youth with any kind of hope that they're going to get in and get their chance and a clear pathway. And that's where he kind of fell short for me. Being me, obviously, I was a youth product at Chelsea, but then but then obviously I got my chance there, and I couldn't write that. You still need chances, and your manager has to be able to believe in the youth, and I think that should be one of the main protocols when you're signing a new gaffer. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think it's a fresh start that we all need as a club, and especially the fans. You know, we know it turned a bit toxic to David Moyes, but let's hope that Lopetegui does well and we get off to a good start. And but listen, Cole, we've banged on for about 20 minutes now about West Ham. We're here for you tonight. We're here to talk about you. So we're going to go back 18 years ago, 2006. You don't look like you changed, by the way. But yeah, 2006. But before you signed us, you did, as you mentioned, play for Chelsea under Claudio Ranieri and Jose, the special one. I mean, what was it like coming through at Chelsea? Because some of the strikers that you were training with day in, day out, what was that like?
Yeah, it was a great experience. Not saying I learned anything, by the way. A bit slow. But I was just happy to be around it. When obviously coming from, I grew up in Brentford, and when you're from that area, and then I actually went on trial to Brentford first, didn't get in. I was there like 8 weeks. Didn't get in. 3 weeks later, I got into Chelsea. It's a bit weird. I'm like, how's your scouting network going then? But Brentford, they've changed now, so they're all right. But yeah, when I got into Chelsea, I couldn't believe my luck comes there, and then they obviously coached me up getting into. I got into the England team eventually, England under 19s, played 20s, 21s, then eventually with West Ham got into the first team. But it was being around that and being around those type of strikers. I'll tell you what, like the competition was totally different. All right, so you got the likes of obviously Zola, great guy, that was in the first team at that time. Then you had Hasselbank. I'd like to say he's a great guy as well, but I'll tell you why that I think he's a little bit. Then obviously you had Idiger Johnson, that didn't really give a fuck about me, to be honest. And then you had a few other players, like younger players, Mikel Forsell, to us. Then eventually, then you had the likes of Drogba, all those boys came. But when I first broke in, I saw what I was up against. And so when you're young and you're like really wanting to set in an impression, you had the likes of the first teamers. So you had Zola, who was an angel. He always tried to help me be a better player, be a better person, think about things that I could do to improve. So he was like an uncle, basically, at first team. Then you had Jimmy Floyd. All right, so now Jimmy, recalling, reciting, and listen, I'm not throwing him under the bus. I just learned from that experience eventually, and I've realized that he wasn't really there to help me. So he wanted me to go out nightclubbing. He wanted me to do
led you astray.
You know what I mean? So leading me astray as a young, impressionable lad.
But you loved that.
I loved it, mate. At the time, I loved it because imagine like one of the number 9 for Chelsea saying, "Oh, come out with us," or "Do this with us," and then you kind of saying, "Yeah, you know, around the first team, mate, this is fucking brilliant. I've made it," kind of thing, and he wants you to have that full sense of security and didn't want to. So I thought I'd already made it before my time, and I hadn't because you still got to work, you know. And then led me, not setting me up, but getting birds around me and all that, and I'm like, yeah, this is the life, like, mate. But when I look at it now, I would never do that to a young player. When I obviously made my name at West Ham, and when you had like the likes of Freddie Sears coming through, you had some young players coming through, I would never, ever lead them astray and do that. And I think that just boils down to the type of person you are, because I didn't see them as a threat to me. I was like, I want the same for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And Zola taught me that, being humble and being able to share your experience and try and make the youth players realize that it's not easy. You've got to really graft still. You've got to keep your head down and do the right thing. So
that's a big part of it. He's telling what they want for you, because when obviously he's a first teamer, he could see you as competition. You know, he could just not care. You know what I mean? He just said, "Well, I've made it. I don't care about what this young lad's going to do. We want to go out, get the piss, and probably burn."
So when you get further up to the top, number 9s, they're all selfish. Yeah. So you've got to understand, I'm a threat. As soon as I've come up, because remember, I'm homegrown.
Yeah.
So as soon as I've come up, he's obviously from the Netherlands. He's the main man, number 9. He's thinking, as he's getting older as well, so he wants to suppress everything around him for him to still stand up strong.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't realise at the time, I just thought he was taking me under his wing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want to learn everything that he does. I want to know how it is to be a top striker in the Premier League. But yeah, he was doing things different to what I...
Trying to slip you up to the side and say...
And then that's how you start slowing down in your progress. It's just normal. I don't know if that's in other walks of life. Say the boss, and you've got a young whippersnapper that's actually eager, willing to learn and everything, and then the boss kind of shows him what to do, but it's not showing him the right things, and then falls off the rails a little bit. But then it was up to me. I had a great family network around me to kind of steer me back in and say, "Listen, don't listen to him. Do this, do that, and don't get carried away with yourself." You know, and I think that's what I've learned that's what I can give back to the youth now. And I think West Ham are benefited from that experience that I've gained, and doing things in a more righteous way. And I think it's really important for the youth. Tomorrow, G.
Oh, that's great, great employer.
But in the summer of 2006, you did sign for a proper London club. You did turn down Spurs as well to join us. That was down to Roman, wasn't it?
I didn't turn them down.
Would you have?
I'll tell you the truth.
If Roman allowed it, would you have signed for Spurs?
Yeah, because they came knocking first. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't that Roman. Yeah, it was that, but it was more to do with like the medical. They tried to get money off Daniel Levy, if you know how he works. He's always trying to cut corners. Don't know how much I was worth at the time, but he's phoned Chelsea, said to him, listen, Carter's got a little bit of a niggle. We need like $1 million off or $2 million off. And that's alerted, obviously, Abramovich, who came straight to the Stamford Bridge to have a meeting with me and my uncle. Talked to us through saying, no, we're not doing business with Spurs. Obviously, I didn't interpret there, Eugene, but he was like saying, nah, and he was saying, yeah, go in there. Luckily, that this got flagged up at this time. But what he said to me says, I'd rather you go on loan to one of my other teams, which is in Russia. I think it was CSK Moscow. And I was like, fucking I ain't going there. Want me to go to Russia? I don't like black people over there. Do you know what I was just about to say? I ain't going over there, mate.
I heard some stories from Akin Fenway went over there and he had bad experiences over there,
Yeah, so I wasn't surprised. I'm not surprised at that. So I said, I ain't fucking going over there, to be honest with you. So you're going to have to sell me. So I said, all right, I'll tell you what you do. Let me know when you thought about it or what you want to do with me. Because what he said, go over there on loan and come back, I'll give you a new contract. And I was like, I don't want to be in the same position again. When you've been playing with the England under 21, you've seen all your peers, they're now making it into the first team and they're England first team. And you've still got that ambition that you want to play for your country. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to be playing for my country, staying in this position. I've got to go out there and play games in the Premier League. So obviously I went over to Sierra Leone, my mum's country, and just do some charity work over there. And I got a phone call from my agent saying, come back because we've got a team for you. I said, who's the team? He goes, Alan Pardew wants you over at West Ham. I was like, bingo, London. Not sure if the crowd's going to take to me, but it is what it is. I'm going to try and go over there and just do my medical and see what happens. So I come off the plane. Pardew meets me off the plane. With, I've got his name now, Brown, used to be the chief exec. Terry Brown, yeah. And they met me at the hotel, took me to a room, and then basically I signed there. What did they convince me? Oh, no, they didn't do nothing.
It was Pardew.
It was pure business.
I bet it was.
There were no strippers in there, there was nothing like that. They didn't touch me, no.
But obviously West Ham coming off the back of a great season, FA Cup final.
Yeah,
it was an easy attraction to get to
so it was an easy attraction, and I've known some players. Obviously, I knew Nigel Okocha at the time, Anton Ferdinand, Dean Ashton, that I played with up front for England under 21. We had a great relationship as a strike force. So, and I knew Bobby Zamora, I knew Paul Konchesky at the time, and so there was a few players that I already knew that was at the club, and then I had to come and meet a few of the new boys as well.
Before or after tennis?
This was the same season.
Same season, yeah.
So it was before. It was before. So I'm going to get to that part. So I've obviously signed, and I'm thinking, and the reason I signed it because Pardew promised me, said to me, listen, Coley, I know there's 4 strikers right now. Yeah, so at the time we had Teddy Sheringham, Marlon Harewood, Bobby Zamora, Dean Ashton. So I was coming in as the 5th, and I was like, why do you need 5 strikers for? He goes, don't worry, you're going to get rid of 2. I might get another one later on, but I doubt it. But you'll be coming as the 4th because we're going to get rid of 1 or 2. I was like, okay, cool, no problem. Wow. So I've signed. As it comes up, as the window starts to close out, all of a sudden, I'm hearing rumours of that we're getting these 2 Argentinians. And I'm thinking, which ones? And then turns out to be Tevez and Mascherano. I'm thinking, Tevez, I know that name. I'm watching what, he's a good player. And I'm thinking,
Superstar.
superstar. I'm thinking, oh, there's no way he's coming in. Anyway, gets to the last moments of the window, he's signed. I'm thinking, fucking hell. I'm thinking, now I'm sixth choice. I've just left Chelsea. I've been like fourth or fifth. Now I'm definitely sixth choice because you've got all these other ones that have kind of made a name for themselves at the club. Then you've got Tevez down to that. I'm back at the queue. I'm thinking, there's no way I'm getting through this. But one of those things in life that I just thought, you know what, I just got to persevere through this. Eventually, obviously, the road started to clear a little bit for me, and that's what I just got in. But looking at it, it was very doubtful that I was going to do anything at West Ham because there was just too many strikers ahead of me.
I mean, you had a great start to your West Ham career. Charlton at home, you come on, I think it was your second touch, banged it in the back of the net. You must have thought, I love it here. This is going to be a good career for me if this is how it's going to be.
Gone from sixth to first choice, yeah.
You know what? So Pardew he obviously fancied me as a player, so I was like, I've got kind of a little bit of a chance. But it was just one of those, when you've got too much options, you don't know what to do. So yeah, when I did score that goal, I put myself in a good position, but I still didn't start the next game, so it didn't change anything. But it was just one of those ones where I just thought I could get going now. And you know when you score your first goal as a striker, it settles the nerves a little bit. But one thing I did fuck up with was in pre-season. So I think it was in Sweden or something like that. And
Pardew trip.
Yeah, it was a Pardew trip. It was a beer festival.
Yeah, I've heard about
outside
it.
I was outside the hotel. I couldn't believe my eyes. But there's a beer festival outside the hotel, and you know some of the lads were sneaking down. In pre-season, we're supposed to get fit, by the way. But anyway, we played a game or training, and then we had the press that came, and then we was talking about obviously the future of myself at West Ham and everything. And me being a little bit naive, well, very naive at the time, I'd said, well, I want to do really well here, and I want to use the club to get back up into the top 4 clubs. Now, you got to understand, that didn't go well with the fans at the time.
I remember it.
Yeah, do you remember it? And
I remember it.
It was so
you
long
must have been
ago.
thinking, what the fuck does this guy think he is? Like, what do you mean, stepping stone? We are not a stepping stone. And there's a few fans that got around, and then obviously the terraces and that, and they definitely were booing me. Every time I touched the ball, I was being booed, and I could hear it. My missus nearly had a tear up in the crowd as well. A few people just hammering me. But it was just one of those ones where I didn't know what I was saying at the time because I was just excited to be there, and I actually wanted to do well, obviously, but I said the wrong things, and then some section of the crowd used that against me at the time. But I always say those type of things if you've had 40,000 people around you and they're booing you, and you're the one they're booing on the pitch, and it's you're from your own team, fans. Do you know how much that weighs on you? So I had to build myself up, thick skin, grow up a little bit, and then just suck it up and just make sure that I was out there giving my best. And the only way I could turn it around was by working hard and showing that I cared. And I think that's when the crowd started to turn. I started to turn the crowd a little bit.
We had a guy that used to sit with us. He never forgot that goal.
Yeah.
He never forgot it.
You didn't make him forget it, probably, mate.
No, in the end we told him you got to shut his mouth, to be honest with you. But every time you got the ball,
He was saying, go on, yeah.
no, he never forgot it. It was from that comment. He never forgot it. And every time he got the ball, he used to slag you off, saying rotten. He was scoring goals. He was slagging you off.
And that's but the thing about it, that's how life's supposed to work, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's nothing fruitful or nothing that's worth having comes easy. Do you know what I mean? So I knew I had to work and get through those dark days. Because I saw it dark days for me. So I'd play a match and or I'd come on and I'd get booed when I was coming on. And I knew that I wasn't liked, so I just had to try and get through that episode. And once I got through it, it was just happy days.
We all took to it. I mean, this guy in particular, will never forget when you got picked for him. and his face coming in, like, you was going, come on, mate, it's about time, you know. It's been a few years now, and you're like, no, I'm not having it, I'm not having it. But you know,
yeah, but the thing is, though, where is that geezer now? And he's sitting here in front of the sold-out crowd of West Ham fans. So who's the real winner?
Yeah, but
we love you.
So that I'll talk to you about the England thing. So I couldn't believe I got picked, to be honest. I thought it was a prank. But I was playing well at the time, to be honest, and I was doing well. And when I got picked, I was like, obviously I was over the moon. But then Roger Craig better me, obviously. He used to hammer me, yeah. So when I come into the training ground one time, I didn't know I got picked, and he's reading the newspaper in the medical room. He was having his massage before we go out, and he's like, "Oh, Coley." So he shouts, "Hey, Coley!" So I just walked in. I was late as usual, and he was like, "How the fuck have you got into this England team, buddy? You're fucking shit." So I'm thinking, what do you mean? That's when I knew it was a prank, because he said it, yeah? And I was like, I've got in. So I was surprised, and then he's gone, yeah. I said, listen, he goes to me, listen, Coley, you'd be nothing without me, yeah? I'll set up all your fucking goals, yeah? He goes, I want a commission from every guy set up there. I was like, oh, fair play. But yeah, it was an odd moment getting picked for England, and obviously, coming from the background of, as I say, I was getting booed, and then all of a sudden I'd be dependent on in a Premier League game for West Ham. For me, that was an emotional thing, and not a lot of people can do that and have the strength of character to do that. So I always pat myself in the back for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had Dean Ashley here last time. He got 1 England cap, and he said, "Don't have to get 1 or 100. You know, to represent your country is a proud moment for you, your family." And supporting a club when your player gets called up is proud for us fans as well. So don't ever put yourself down for that, mate. Not many people get to do that.
And I get it. Like, but it's just one of those ones, because when you're like, Dino is such a humble person, and when I think about Dino, I just feel football treated him so unfairly, because he was some player, man. And when I look at him and I think, do you know what, Dino, if I had his talent, and then he would have gone on to play like loads for England, Dino.
He would have been with us, but not less for sure.
Yeah, probably not, but he was he was one of those players, he was a special player, and I really rated him. And I see his development from when he was at Norwich, obviously playing England under 21 a bit, and I saw how good he was and how good he could have been. And let's talk about Dino. Like when the last training session, I was there obviously when he couldn't flip it run, and he was trying so hard. And for me, I put myself in his shoes, like thinking, if that happened to me and I couldn't run, I couldn't do the thing that I really enjoy and I love and I get paid to do. Like, I think everybody in there would give an arm and a leg, actually. Well, not an arm and a leg, but I should have been to play. But give anything to be a professional footballer and then go to represent the country and play for West Ham. And I always say to him, we had the opportunity to do that. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to look at it from a different angle sometimes. And to get that taken away from you prematurely as well, when you're on the up, mate, that takes some doing to get over. I'm sure that he's had his darker days, and he's come out looking good at the end of it. So kudos to him.
Absolutely.
And then Craig.
Yeah, that season was obviously the great escape season. Pard was sacked, Curbs come in. I know Curbs had something against you, didn't he? Because you wanted to sign you for Charlton, and you let him go.
Yeah, that's it. So obviously, when I was at Chelsea, I was with Curbs over at Charlton. I went for a season over there. I got to play with the great Buchanan for 1 season over there. And, what a character he is. But I learned from him as well, like just little things, like genius stuff. Not that I took on the trait, but actually I did do a few stuff that I was flipping. The overhead kick, no, that was crazy. Like, so something must have rubbed off of me. But the individual, he had this individual brilliance. So playing with him, that was a massive thing. But there were some legends in that Charlton team, and Curbs was obviously managing it. And Curbs was known for getting, I think that season, we got 8th when I went there on loan. So he wanted to get me the next season because he just sold Scott Parker to Chelsea. And I was actually, not knowing, I was part of the deal. Like, they get me for a second season. When I found out, obviously I said no, because I want to fuck it all up. Because I was that type of guy. And plus, I hadn't had a good time off the pitch in London that season. So I wanted to get away from London, so I wanted to just go up north. And when David O'Leary come calling, he was obviously at Aston Villa, I went to Aston Villa. But I had Curbs calling me, saying, listen, I need you to come for a second season. I said, listen, Curbs, I ain't coming. Sorry, let them down. But Curbs is the type of character, and we get along now, obviously, but he'll hold that against you. He never forgets things like that. And I was like, you know what? So I had to talk to him. I said, listen, no, I want to play. I know that you don't truck. Because we was going through an injury crisis at one stage with all the strikers, and I was the only one left standing, and he had to play me. And this was the season after the Great Escape, so he had to play me. And then I was like, you know what, Curve, like, let's just, everything that you remembered about me, I've changed now. Obviously, I want to play. I feel like I could be that guy that you can rely on. So he gave my chance, and I started playing. Still getting booed, by the way, at this time. But I started to gain momentum, and then obviously the fans found out that they had to just suck it up and just bear with me and see how I progressed. And then obviously that's when I started getting momentum. And that's how I felt, and I felt, yeah, now I'm a Premier League player. And I was so happy that everyone got injured at the time, because it gave me that opportunity. And that's what football's about. It's a little bit about, you've got to be an opportunist. You've got to seize your opportunity. And that's anything in life. Like, once you get that chance, when I found out that I was going to be playing regularly, there was no one else to do this. And it's going to be me and probably Bellews up front. And that was it. And then I had to take the ball by its horns.
There was a few rumours of a little Bentley's boy gang when you was at the club. There was one story, I don't think you've told this many times, but was it you and Anon Ferdinand, the convertible at London? Yeah, tell us that story, because I don't think many people heard this.
So look, there was this Baby Bentley. Was it Baby Bentley? Yeah, I used to read about that all the time. And basically, apparently, us lots, I think I was involved in it, Marlon there was involved in it, Anton Ferdinand was involved in it, Nigel Reo-Coker. And I didn't have a Baby Bentley, I didn't have one, I just used to be in the passenger seat. So he had a soft top Anton, so we went to central London this time. And then as we were driving, and, we weren't doing too well in the league, obviously. But we were just enjoying, trying to take our mind off the game, trying to take our mind off football. As we were driving into like near Leicester Square, Piccadilly, wherever it was, a few West Ham fans saw us with the roof down, having a good time in the sunshine, and there's a baby blue Bentley as well. You can't miss it, with cream interiors. And then you'll see, I know, bad taste. And I was obviously in the passenger seat, mate. The way we got cunted off, yeah. I swear down, like I felt big at the time. Obviously, I'm in a Bentley. I'm fucking having a good go. But then someone just cast down to the side, and I felt so bad. I almost cried, man. I was like, fucking hell, get me out of this shit. I want to get out of here. I'll get the trainer.
Was it a white van, man, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in a van, yeah. So I was like, you know, they really hate us. And that's when I got the taste of people not liking what was going on.
Yeah.
And then I knew from there we had to just fucking buckle up and just keep our head down and just flip it. Let's go for it and make sure that we stay up.
There's no one more likely to tell you what you're doing in life than a white hand man. That's for sure. They'll tell you the truth.
Black caps.
Black caps and
they'll tell you exactly how it's going and how you look to the world.
You should have gone Bermondsey, because all the Millwall fans were going, go on, Colin, get it out!
Like, they got me out and put me in a headlock program.
But look, you did play under Zola at West Ham as well. You know, it must have been good for you. Obviously, you played with Zola when you was younger. What was he like as a manager? Because some of the stories we hear is that he was the best player in training. Players are begging for him to pull on the shirt on a Saturday.
Yeah, Zola, what a guy. As I said, top mentor, top player. Mate, he shared a pitch with Maradona and he learned off him, so this shows you the type of pedigree he's got. But when he came to West Ham, I already knew like that I knew that I would have a good time under him because he believed in me anyway since I was young. So, and I knew that we'd try and play the right type of football, and we'd play on the floor and try and play on the floor. So he was teaching us little patterns of plays and like triangles, diamonds, and all that sort of stuff. So we was opening up our mind to play a different type of football. And then when you saw a good example of the goal that I scored up in Wigan, when it was a back and forth. And that was just a brilliant goal anyway, but it was because of what we've been practicing that whole season and it's come to fruition. Now, Zola, he'd always wanted to get involved because he's like a little kid basically. Loves, as soon as the ball's around, he thinks he's still a player. Well, he is still a player, but he's just too much. And then he'll join in practice, and sometimes he demonstrates. You know, like when they do a demo, and then you just say you wanted a free kick and he would just show you how to do it. And then it was just always banging the money. But then you get in the small games and the level side as well. It got to a point when I was getting kind of embarrassed because I could do what he could fucking do. Yeah, and I was thinking, wow, this is a bit underwhelming, I'm not that good. How's he doing that? Then on the flip side, he's toying with our best defenders. Now, we've got a game on the Saturday. Not good for their confidence. So, a few of the lads had to go in into his office and say, listen, Gaffer, you're lowering the boys' morale. Yeah? No wonder we can't flipping play properly at the moment because you're training and showing us how it's supposed to be done. Plus, you're embarrassing our defenders. So they're going in with low confidence. So you need to stop getting involved. And then he said, okay, no problem. And that's it. Then we started gaining momentum. But mate, what a player he was, even after his career.
I went and watched you got all many you did the Tony Clark testimonial. And I think he was the best player on the pitch then. He's unreal.
He's a freak of nature, mate. Because he don't lose his touch. Like he doesn't need to touch a ball for the whole year and just still have to touch. Like just bring stuck to like Velcro, isn't it? And there's not many players in the world that's like that. And that's just a different quality, mate.
Yeah, obviously Zola got sacked, and this is the one manager.
We're disappointed about that.
Yeah, I think he was treated unfairly. I thought we started playing good football under him when he pulled through a lot of the youth like Tompkins, Collinson, Hines, Stanislas, and he started to build something. And then obviously Golden Sun and then different plans, and they brought in Avram Grant.
Right.
Now,
what a mistake.
Well, you say that. You got some good stories about Avram Grant.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can say. That's it.
Yeah, this is what when I was looking through your career, I was looking at Avram Grant thing. I was thinking massage table.
Oh,
come on.
Right.
We all want to read a massage table.
Okay.
This is a good one.
So look, yeah. I used to frequent the nightclubs a little bit, you know, and I used to go out, have a good time. And there was a girl that I used to know, all right, and basically she worked in a casino. Is it a Connaught or something? I can't remember. But he used to go to this casino where she worked, and obviously I've gone in the day after. I'm thinking, and I got a phone call in the morning saying, "Oh, your gaffer was in here yesterday," and I was like, "Is it?" I said, "What is he doing there? Because we've got training today." I said, "You've got to be lying." Because yeah, he was in it. So I've gone, all right, cool, no problem. Now I'm getting my massage. I'm getting massage because, and I've got my head on the massage table in the little hole. And then I said, do you know what? I can hear these footsteps because someone just said, "Where's Coley?" I'm thinking that sounds like the gaffer's voice. I'm just trying to. I don't want to talk to him, but at this point. So all I hear is his footsteps. Oh, there he is. He comes over to me, and then he bends down, and my face is down there. Bends down. He goes, "Hello, Coley." I've gone, "Yes, gaffer." He said. So obviously I picked up my head and goes, "Oh, listen, it's a quick one. That girl, very clear, beautiful." He said that if I ask you, you'll give me her number. Oh, mate, we got a game the next day, by the way. I'm thinking, is this what we're talking about at this moment in time? From that time, I just said, this guy's not serious. you're asking your main striker for girls numbers at work. I'm like, this is not, this is not serious.
If you wonder why we struggled that season, what about the one in training when you was looking for Avram, you couldn't find him?
Oh yeah, that one was a mate. That was a difficult day for everyone. So obviously Avram, being Avram, is a little bit unorganised. So we've been out on the pitch. We go out for like 10:30, ready to warm up, and then we start training at 11. So obviously he was, I don't know, he was around. So everyone's asking, oh, where's the gaffer? Because he's not out yet. So we just like gave him a bit of time. It got to like 10 past 11. We're all glad I've been out on the pitch, just like doing our own little warm-ups. He's not come out yet. What's getting all happening? So we asked one of the staff, said, oh, is he here? He goes, yeah, he's come in early this morning. He's obviously come in from the casino or wherever he's been, straight in, like.
So out on the piss.
He must have, I don't know if he drinks or anything like that, but he just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So we've got to kind of, someone's got to go and find him. So me and I think it was Craig Bennett, not Craig, but who was it? Can't remember. It was a defender. Can't remember who it was. But we go to his room, knock on the door, and all us, the guy's on the table like this. Thinking, is he dead? Like, what's going on? So I'm going, Avram. And he's got, and he's like, oh, Coggy, how are you? And I'm like, mate, we've got training. He goes, oh yeah. And I'm thinking, we've got no chance here. Like, there's no way your gaffer should be sleeping on the job. And all the boys are outside waiting for his instructions, what we're going to do.
But how does...
I don't get it.
How does he get through the season then? Because he got to the very end till we got relegated, Wigan. He got all the way there. Listen, we all know the story about him not being allowed back on the coach and so on. But when you sounded like that, Claudia, I mean, you know, these new owners come in, they sat...
They had to endure it, didn't they? Because you can't bring someone in and that got replaced by someone that was actually popular.
Yeah.
So his owner was popular with the boys as well, with the lads, and we thought we could really do something the next season. But they wanted to change what they wanted. They brought in, it was a massive mistake. They knew, but they had to go through with it. And I'm just not sure what their thought process was back then to keep him in there and say, oh, we're going to do it, we're going to make it. And we obviously did it that last game, of Wigan game.
Can I check out a conspiracy?
Go on.
Right, maybe you may have heard this, and this is something that I thought. Was they trying to clear out the club? You get rid of some bigger contracts that was given by the last ownership?
Do you know what? I wasn't savvy to all of that stuff at that time. Maybe that's probably one of the reasons. But my contract went half. Yeah, and I had an option to leave. So I knew my scenario. I'm not sure about other players' contracts at the time, because remember, I was still in the England squad.
Yes.
I was still around it, so I felt I needed to stay, and I'd take that hit at that time because the way my pride set up, but I didn't want to move home. I don't like change, and I was really enjoying my time at West Ham, but I did feel there was a lot of guilt there as well, because I still feel I had actually one of my best goal scoring seasons that year.
You were fantastic
that year. I know, and actually, I didn't get recognised for it because we got relegated.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it was just one of those ones where I think a few of the players were a bit young, and maybe we had to get relegated to get rid of
them. Yeah.
One game that always sticks in my mind that season was 3-0 down at West Brom at half-time. Scott Parker gives a half-time team talk that I've heard you say before, about players to tears. Do you want to tell us about that?
So we was up in West Brom at Hawthorns, and I think it was me and Deborah Barr up front, and I think Piquion played as well. So it was 3, and I think there's Piquion played on the left side and talking about. But it was a weird game because we were 3-0 down before we knew it. And we got to half time, and everyone was just looking for answers. And then obviously Avram walks in late. We're looking at him at half time. We're thinking, this geezer ain't gonna inspire us. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to batter him or be rude, but that's what the feeling was. So he went he started to talk, and then was like, "Oh, here we go again." Then Scotty just said, "Well, fuck this. Gaffer, can you get out?"
They chucked him out, yeah?
Kind of, yeah, just said, "Listen, can you just go to the side?" And then you know, I said what we're gonna say. And then Scott just said some on real. I can't remember it, but as I said, it brought me to tears, like almost, because I was like inspired by it. It wasn't just him that was talking. You know, even Matthew Upton had a few words. I had a word. Loads, everyone that was there had their say. But we treated that moment like we cared about the club and football and our pride as well as footballers. Do you know what I mean? Because there's forget everything else. Like when you go into West Brom and get spanked 3-0, this is not what we come here for. Like, it's not why I wanted to play football. But it's got to be some self-pride there. So we all got on the same page, and that's why you saw performance when we came out, and then we ended up getting back to 3-3, which was some feat from where you were.
Well, we finished bottom that season on 33 points, Cole, and we got relegated. But as you said earlier, you had a chance to leave the club, and you took a wage cut. Now, not many players would do that, and I think that's why a lot of us fans respect you, because that was a massive moment, and we're so glad you stayed with us, because there was a big turnaround for the football club. Because we're in the Championship, and then Big Sam comes in. I mean, what was that like? Big Sam changed it, probably Kelly Nolan as well.
I'll tell you what, with that scenario there, it was a weird one, because obviously I'd Stoke had a few other clubs. I even had some team in Turkey paying the big dough, and I was kind of looking at thinking, I'm weighing up the whole options. I don't want to go up north, because I get a nosebleed every time I go past the Watford gap. So thinking that's not going to work out for me. And I really had experience at Aston Villa. I didn't like it up in Birmingham, over that area. I was like, I'm not going. Then
Stoke.
And then Stoke, I said, I don't think I've ever scored a goal up there at Stoke. So I was thinking, and then every time I'm up there, it's always windy, grey. I was like, I ain't going to be able to adapt there anyway. So I'd rather stay here, slug it out, and try and find a way. But one thing that did get in my way was Sam Allardyce. Now, Sam Allardyce obviously came in, and he wanted to shot at me straight away. Because he thought I was one of the part of the Bentley boys. Do you know what I mean? He thought I still had that stigma around me.
He wasn't a white van driver, was he?
No, he probably was. He probably was. And there's more of a story about the Sam Allardyce thing, which I think played a role in it as well, because before I signed for West Ham, before I went on holiday, before I had my medical at Spurs, I'd met him at my agent's office, and he was trying to convince me to go up there to play for him, and I turned it down. So, as I said, people don't forget in football, it's a small world. So he's probably had that against me anyway, because he doesn't forget anything. Then after that, so obviously he wanted to get some money in for me. He wanted to brought Freddie Pichon, brought in Nicky Maynard that season. He brought in a load of players, load of strikers. Even John Carew came.
Yeah.
Eventually. So he was always trying to replace me. But I think I didn't play the first 2-3 games under him in the champ. And I think it was the Watford game where he thought, I've got to get Coley in now because he'll do something here. And then that's when we started getting some momentum. Yeah, and then I think we beat him 4-0 or something like that. Even Joey O'Brien scored. That is crazy.
It was enjoyable for us fans because we was near the top of the league for most of the season, but it ended. We should have gone up automatically. We weren't that good enough. Reading just come out.
But remember, we couldn't win a game. We were just drawing. We drew about 10 in a row.
Was it Reading that were like in the bottom four?
Yeah, Reading just went on. Yeah, they went on a surge, didn't they? Like, and I looked at it. I'm thinking, it's their years. It's just a little bit like how Ipswich, although Ipswich are really good, but you just look at that. I think that's like. Sometimes these teams do that in the Championship, and we was in that year when Reading was doing that. Obviously, they went straight back down, didn't they, in the end? Yeah. But even when they was in the Premier League, they spanked us 6-0 that season, remember? I thought, so they just had a fit for us, didn't they?
We got to Wembley playoff final. It proves over the weekend that we just see the playoffs, and if you're going to go up, what a way to go up. I mean, huge pressure on the football club players, because if we didn't go up that season, there was rumours that there was in it people that have been made redundant and work for the football club. So there's a lot of pressure on you as players. I mean, talk us through the day.
So look, me as a person anyway, I like seeing like the backroom staff, kit man, dinner lady, chef, even up to the cleaner. I talk to everyone. Do you know what I mean? I've always been like that, and I feel they're the main crux of why we're there, because we get paid a handsome amount of money, and those guys are the ones that keep it comfortable for us. So I always appreciated that. So when obviously we got relegated, we managed to keep most of our staff, but if we didn't get promotion that year, would have had to let a fair few go. And I just saw the worry on some of these people's faces that work from day to day to keep us comfortable and appreciate what it is to be West Ham. And we've got a lot of local people that support the club, working for the club. So I already knew, and they don't say nothing, but you can see there's fear that they're going to get cut, and especially we've got cutthroat employers as well, like you. Yeah, so you know what, so you understand what's going on. So they'd be the first to go, and like every year, without fail anyway, what we would do, we're doing like a little, like Christmas time, end of season, we'll always do a little round for a bit of money for collection for all the staff, and we give it to them individually and they could go about their holidays. But so we already knew that some of these guys were worried about their job, so that pressure was on our shoulders. Obviously me, I'd already taken half a pay cut, so I was like, fuck it, I better make this work, yeah? And I need to get full pay again. I'll take the hit for the 1 year, but next year is going to be hard, you know what I mean? Because obviously everyone says, oh, I've got loads of money, but you live a life according to, you know what I mean? So I've got bills to pay still, so you've got to still keep up. So when I knew that, okay, I can't do another year, and I'd probably have to get sold or go on, do something else, I just felt, and I was telling the lads as well, listen, we've got to flip it and do this. Now, in that final, obviously Blackpool, we beat Blackpool twice, home and away, quite comfortably. And I think some of the lads went into that game, and we didn't play well that game. I think some of the lads went into that game thinking it's going to be the same kind of scenario. We're going to walk over these lot. Because actually they finished 6th, I think. Yeah. And then we finished 3rd. So we was top of, and I was that. I remember Sam Allardyce, and we had a sports psychologist at the time, and he was saying, I think it would be a good idea for everyone to go to Wembley, just have a look at the scenario, just picture yourself doing great. And I was big on sports psychology at that time as well, because I'd already used my one, because I'd invested in myself to get better and just try. Because a lot of people don't understand, a lot of, you've all got skills, you've all got ability, some more than others, but half of the battle is in your head. So if you could get your head right, then you will get a good performance, and especially in a high performance place that of work that we work from day to day. So I was always invested in that part of my career. A lot of the players took that for granted and didn't play well that game because they just, I think the whole occasion was so intense. Could see the energy from the fans. Everyone was nervous. I think that got to a few of the players. So some of the players didn't play well. And luckily enough, we done what we had to do in front of goal to keep us ahead. But it was very intense on that pitch, and we could feel if we didn't get this right, there's a lot riding on this, and then we wouldn't be in the position now, like what we see today, we're winning the Europa Conference League. I always take pride in that day and how the process went, because if it wasn't for that, we would be in the position that we are right now.
Bills for there, mate. The old Bills would be the biggest league in the world.
Yeah, you scored that day, Blackpool equalised, and then they say gets the winner in the last minutes of the game. I mean,
you know what? I've got to say, I don't think you get enough credit for the setup in that.
I know, I never do. Everyone thought I was.
Is it you playing that assist?
Of course I am. I knew exactly. Right. I'll tell you what happened. Let me just talk you through it. I'll talk you through that. So, obviously, you'd seen
Who was?
Nobby. not Nolly, obviously.
Nolan.
Nolan.
Oh, no,
We
no,
call him
no,
Nolly.
you're black.
Call him Nolly. So Nolan's on the left. Kevin Nolly goes all the way down the wing. Gets the ball. I've never seen him sprint so fast to get that, by the way. I was thinking, oh, something might be happening here. Let me be alert. Yeah? So he's gone, and then he's cut inside, and he's looked up, and I'm like, well, I feel I better run it. So I'm running towards the box. He's made a lovely ball into me. Right. Now, my touch was unbelievable, right? Touched it towards the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper thought he had it. Yeah. Lured him into a false sense of security. I'm thinking, gotcha. Yeah. As he come out, I'm thinking, can I chip him? Nah. What I'll do, I've got this thing about me, right? On my right hand side, and then on my left, I can see things, right? And I'm touching, but I can feel things, right? And it's like I call it like the spider senses, yeah. I was thinking, I know that Vaz is right there to my right. What I'll do, I'll go towards the goalkeeper, he'll come out, and I'll hook it towards him. And that's what happened. I've done my part. So I hooked the ball away from the goalkeeper. To be honest with you, I just wanted to keep it in play. That is the truth, yeah? I just wanted to keep it in play because if we keep it in play, we've got more of a chance of scoring, and we're in the box. Luckily, Vaz was there. Now, I was on the floor, as he's here, I'm thinking, you fucking hit over the bar, you cunt. Yes? Honestly, sorry my language. If I am, that's what I was thinking, right? Because there was a lot riding on this. Yeah. So why did you hit it so high? When I saw the fall, publishing that, I was like, oh my god, this is unbelievable.
I'll be honest, I still see that goal now and I still get goosebumps.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. I was privileged to be a part of that day and being one of the main characters because it was, trust me, it was a hard day. Just because remember, when you have that last day of the season, when you, I think, who did we play? I scored 2 goals the last game of the season. I forgot who it was. Then we had 10 days. I think it was Hull. And we had 10 days afterwards. And that's the longest 10 days of your life. That's like a month, basically. Yeah. It's so long. And it's the same with like the boys in the Champions League. Like when you get to it was us as well. You get like 8 or 9 days or 10 days when you got the finals coming up. That anything can happen in them 10 days, like mentally. Like you got to keep your mind right.
To the top level.
Yeah. Otherwise, can tail off, and that's what happened to us. I think some of the lads tailed off a little bit because they thought they had it done already.
Yeah.
And they wasn't focusing in the right, they weren't in the right frame of mind. So, luckily enough, there was a few of us that were still in that mode, and obviously Kevin Nolan played really well. Vaz, who got the winner, he actually was shit that game. Did you see how many flipping misses he had? Like, we had to have a word with him at our times. Like, bro, what are you doing it? Like, you scored so much from there to now, and then you wait till the finals of a shit game. Like, come on. Anyway, so yeah, there was a lot riding on that day, and I'm just so happy we got over the line. And yeah, it was just a special moment for my family as well. For my bank account too. Yeah, exactly. So we had a great time up.